So now I chose Oklo over SMR because of the Sam Altman connection and additional hype and the sentiment premium that comes along with Sam Altman and a potential for one day. Thing I think you have to squeeze now. All right. They have been pounding the $10 and $12.50 calls here. Look at this volume yesterday and the open interest. Look at this. You see this? 15,000 versus 11,000 open interest. Interesting to see what we're at today when we open. 23,000 on the 1250s. I've been mentioning for a couple days extremely high call volume and how they may want to gamma squeeze Oklo. And now, look, all over the news, it's SMR, using, that those letters. Yeah, you have SMR here, but, we're going to go Oklo. But I think you have to throw away fundamentals. And, okay, some people may disagree with me. At this point in time, every once in a while, you get short squeezes in names, right? In sectors. And this is the time. The stars are aligned for a short squeeze in Oklo. I'm not in a full position. I think I added some, at 1250, was it? I added some at 1250. I tried adding more at 1265 while I was driving, but it ran away from me, and I had to go to 1290. But I'm leaving a lot of firepower to buy more dips. So look, what we'll do is throw Oklo into our top list here. All right. But really, this is just a continuation of the inflection point in uranium. If you think Oklo is risky, just go URA. All right. And just own it. Own it for this coming move that's going to continue into the rest of this year, into next year. Look, 3363 minimum target on URA. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much sentiment. It's too much catalyst, and it's going to overcome. It's going to overcome any other market dynamic. It's going to overcome the shorts, overcome the bears, overcome any concerns about fundamentals. This is the moment we're in now, and it's game on. And you can see that 28,000 share bid right now in Oklo at $12.80. Okay, so Oklo, look at that, back in our top 5 here. In fact, let me just. Let's see what kind of position I have in my trading account in Oklo. Oh, it's so small. Oh, I got a small position, man. Do I want to buy more while I'm on the show? Buy high. I think this is one of the days. I'm going to leave more room to buy the dip. I will. But I'm going to add a little bit more here at like the high. Okay. 1290. I just think sometimes you got to have that instinct, and you got to strike when you think there's going to be a short squeeze, and I think there's going to be a short squeeze. So, wow, that's crazy. All right, Oklo in the top 5. All right. You have to chase Oklo a little bit here. Even maybe SMR, but Oklo I like better because of Sam Altman. So Godfather is going to disagree with me, but that's fine. It's just too much. It's just too many. Now it's Amazon, Google, Microsoft. I mean, it's a time for a short squeeze. And also they've been trying to target Oklo for a gamma squeeze with $10 and $12.50 call options this week. So I added more, not a full position. Hopefully we get full pullbacks. But at this point, I think we're at that place in time where sentiment and catalyst and just market dynamics and momentum and short squeezes will overcome any fundamental concerns. So I think it's possibly a 20, 30, 40% day for Oklo today. ASTS, man, am I stoked about this right now. Look, I've been wrong for the last week or so, but I think the bottom's going to be today or Monday morning. So this is more of a swing, not necessarily a day trade, although it could work out today. All right. I can't do the whole fundamental review of this. I would just say the reason I like it today is 2 things. Because we bounced off $23 support in early pre-market, overshot at $22.82. $23 was the high right there before this big inflection on ER. Okay. So I have a simple kind of rule. We always know previous resistance is now support. I get it. But the way to logically think about that, if ASTS was worth up to $23 before the inflection point news, shouldn't it be worth at least $23 after the inflection point news? That's the way I think of it, because I'm thinking about the market psychology of other participants. Other people are looking at this, and I think that's the calculation they make more than a technical analysis, right? However, there's been dilution since then, all right? There's warrants that are being redeemed. There's an ATM running. So in terms of market cap, the market cap's actually higher at $23 today than it was over here on August 9th. So it could potentially overshoot. But the other thing that we have going for us is the warrant redemptions is ending today. Okay, ASTSW is going to be delisted today. And look at this. Look at this opportunity. If you're like $12 to $3 to $13 after 5 p.m. today, this will be worth a penny. I think maybe someone in early pre-market got worried about that. Potentially, they missed the deadline because some brokers, apparently, they don't let you redeem until 5 p.m. today. You have to do it a day early at some brokers. So maybe someone got some bad news and they're like, oh, shit, I'm only getting a penny at 5 p.m. today. Let me sell this for whatever I got. But, oh, my gosh, crazy stuff going on in ASTSW. And it is a fact. We've seen some anecdotal evidence that some people have been selling their common stock in order to fund the purchase. They have to spend, I think it's $11.50 per warrant to get it converted into common shares. They have to upfront that cash. So people have been selling the common shares to do that. That whole mechanics ends today at 5 p.m. And I think we may also get a press release from the company on Monday updating on that potentially, or at least an SEC filing. Actually, I heard there was one last night with some information on that. Anyway, huge short position. When it has a green day, it tends to be a very big green day. I think I put a prediction in there that in our community that we could have a 10% move today or Monday or Tuesday, imminently, a 10% move coming up, maybe a little bit more to about 27 or so. So ASTS, top of my mind. So now I chose Oklo over SMR because of the Sam Altman connection and additional hype and the sentiment premium that comes along with Sam Altman and a potential for one day. Thing I think you have to squeeze now. All right. They have been pounding the $10 and $12.50 calls here. Look at this volume yesterday and the open interest. Look at this. You see this? 15,000 versus 11,000 open interest. Interesting to see what we're at today when we open. 23,000 on the 1250s. I've been mentioning for a couple of days extremely high call volume and how they may want to gamma squeeze Oklo. And now, look, all over the news, it's SMR, using, that those letters. Yeah, you have SMR here, but, we're going to go Oklo. But I think you have to throw away fundamentals. And okay, some people may disagree with me. At this point in time, every once in a while, you get short squeezes in names, right? In sectors. And this is the time. The stars are aligned for a short squeeze in Oklo. I'm not in a full position. I think I added some, at 1250, was it? I added some at 1250. I tried adding more at 1265 while I was driving, but it ran away from me. And I had to go to 1290. But I'm leaving a lot of firepower to buy more dips. So look, what we'll do is throw Oklo into our top list here. All right. But really, this is just a continuation of the inflection point in uranium. If you think Oklo is risky, just go URA. All right. And just own it. Own it for this coming move that's going to continue into the rest of this year, into next year. Look, 3363 minimum target on URA. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much sentiment. It's too much catalyst, and it's going to overcome. It's going to overcome any other market dynamic. It's going to overcome the shorts, overcome the bears, overcome any concerns about fundamentals. This is the moment we're in now, and it's game on. And you can see that 28,000 share bid right now on Oklo at $12.80. Okay, so Oklo, look at that. Back in our top 5 here. In fact, let me just Let's see. Let's see what kind of position I have in my trading account in Oklo. Oh, it's so small. Oh, I got a small position, man. Do I want to buy more while I'm on the show? Buy high. I think this is one of the days. I'm going to leave more room to buy the dip. Okay, I will. But I'm going to add a little bit more here at like the high. Okay. 1290. I just think sometimes you got to have that instinct and you got to strike when you think there's going to be a short squeeze, and I think there's going to be a short squeeze. So wow, that's crazy. All right, Oklo in the top 5. All right. When we got that initial really light CPI, I went big into SoFi, expecting a huge move by November, and man, that turned out to be right. But why? Why am I bullish on SoFi? It's because sometimes I just want to be in a stock where it's look. Everyone bullish on SoFi were the same people who are bullish on Palantir since 5, the same people who are bullish on Tesla for years. There's a group of stocks, you want to call them meme stocks, but they're higher quality meme stocks followed by much higher quality investors and people I follow on Twitter. And this is the group of stocks that they've been in. It's been SoFi, HIMS, Hood, Palantir, Tesla. All right. That's the group. Very, very good investors all over. SoFi, HIMS, Hood, Palantir, Tesla. So I'm like, they've been right about basically all of them. So I want to have a position in SoFi. And that was my only reasoning and why I thought SoFi would outperform, because these guys, these, higher quality meme stocks. That's what's going on here. Now, SoFi broke out last week. Sometimes the crowd knows something better than institutions. All right. And a lot of that's about management, I've noticed, right? I've noticed that the reason they love, and also they love like NVIDIA, it's all about management. They love Palantir CEO. They love the Hood CEO. They love the SoFi CEO. I hear so much about these CEOs all over Twitter for the last couple of years. And maybe the fundamentals aren't there yet, but that's why sentiment matters. And that's why sentiment is given a value in the market, because sometimes sentiment leads fundamentals. And that looks like what's happening here. SoFi this morning, $2 billion packed with Fortress Investment, stock soaring. I don't know the implications of this, but I do know the market cap's $9 billion or so, 8 or 9 billion, $9 billion, and $2 billion pack looks significant. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not an expert in the finance sector, but SoFi looking good. Daily, weekly. Now you can see what I'm talking about there. So it's been a while, but the fact that that whole sector was exploding before this move tells me there's a lot more to come in Bitcoin. The big whales know something about the money flow, and that money flow is going to be coming in Bitcoin. So I think finally, we're going to break out above this 66,525 here, and then make a move to the all-time highs on Bitcoin. So that is definitely in play. It's hard to say for today because you're buying this gap up. But as far as a swing position, I think if you're not in it, you're light in it. I think it's a good time to increase the position in Bitcoin. Something real seems to be happening there. You have to chase Oklo a little bit here. Even maybe SMR, but Oklo I like better because Sam Altman. So Godfather is going to disagree with me, but that's fine. It's just too much. It's just too many. Now it's Amazon, Google, Microsoft. I mean, it's a time for a short squeeze. And also they've been trying to target Oklo for a gamma squeeze with $10 and $12.50 call options this week. So I added more, not a full position. Hopefully we get full pullbacks. But at this point, I think we're at that place in time where sentiment and catalysts and just market dynamics and momentum and short squeezes will overcome any fundamental concerns. So I think it's possibly a 20, 30, 40% day for Oklo today. right, I am back. Rhett, welcome back. Welcome me back. How's everything going?
Pretty good, Ben. Another day, another day.
Another
Looking
awesome
forward to
day.
starting this week off.
Monday, October 21st here. Man, did we ever kill it last week? We got a lot to go through, a lot. But first, I just got to switch over to the uranium list here because we called this unbelievable calls. There's some videos out there. If you've been part of our community, you know those unbelievable calls we've made. But I've been bullish uranium probably for a couple years, but I've been mentioning it on my show the last several weeks as it was going down. I'm like, you want to buy this, you want to own this long term. And then we got those triple catalysts, basically, starting with, who was it first? I think it was Microsoft, then it was Amazon, then Google, whatever order it was in, getting to the SMRs. And that third one, the third one that hit, which I forgot if it was Google or Amazon, I went on the show and I'm like, this is it. This is the inflection point. This is everything everybody's ever promised about uranium in terms of solving the AI energy needs. And look at Hakla going again here in pre-market. So we said it's not too late. This is the daily chart here. When everything was gapping open on October 16th, I said it is not too late to stick URA and URNM, one or the other, into your retirement account. And that's we played the video clip. Also that day predicted a 40% move in Oklo. We got that 40% move in Oklo. Further to that, I did predict new all-time highs on, I said all uranium stocks. Later, I looked at some of the charts, and you won't be able to hit all-time highs in all of them because of some dilution in some names. But we've gotten now all-time highs already within a few days of that prediction in SMR, in Oklo, in CCJ, in URA. So this prediction has been off the hook. So anyone who's been part of the story trading community has been profiting from their longer-term core position and certainly could have made massive amounts of money since our prediction that morning. Here we go. The morning of October 16th. Man, was I ever bullish. I wish you guys were there with us, but you can be with us next time. Hop on over to storytrading.com/Discord so you don't miss a show. I also want to mention we were supposed to have the Game CEO today. We had to reschedule that. So that's GameSquare CEO. Let me just quickly toggle there. GameSquare, look at that big move. And again, if you were following us, actually put this one on X, not only in our Discord, it was 16th, or maybe it was 2 days before. And we had no idea this was coming. GameSquare is a sponsor of Story Trading, had no idea this press release was coming, but just looking at the technical setup at 70 cents, we said, we think this stock's going to 90 cents. That was the 50 DMA. And lo and behold, we got hit with a surprise press release a day or two later, pre-announcing earnings, and we hit that 90 cents, exceeded it back at that critical 90-cent level. So GameSquare, sponsor of Story Trading, finally getting things together. There's a lot of interesting things going on. We'll be interviewing the CEO, I think, next Monday. It was supposed to be this morning, but it's going to be pushed off till next Monday. So that's a couple big items that happened while it was off on Thursday and Friday while Rhett was holding down the fort. One other thing I want to mention is silver. Now, look, everyone knows I've been very bullish gold. It's been a 4-pillar pick for a long time. It's a core position for me, hitting new all-time highs pretty much every week. I've been playing call options pretty much every week on this. But I also did kind of slip out the other week that I have some silver call options. I don't really talk about silver much, and maybe I got a little lucky on it, but I've seen a lot of chatter about silver from smart people over the last month or two. So then someone recommended to me, or someone I know, a colleague of mine predicted $50 silver by the end of the year. And I'm like, you know what? Probably not. That's a big move. But because I like gold and they move together, all right, so the chart looked great, I decided to pick up some call options, January call options on silver, which were up like 100% Friday. All right, so we'll talk more about that in just a second. Now let's go to the macro view here. And what I really want to point out, what I'm most interested in, look, it's October 21st. Elections coming up in November. I just got to mention, someone on Twitter was like, oh, why do you talk about politics? It wasn't talking to me. It was someone else. They were responding to someone else saying, like, keep politics out of economics. I'm like, is this guy for real? Is this guy a dumbass? I'm like politics is one of the strongest drivers of price action, certainly from a macro perspective. but even on individual stock perspective, right? When we saw there was a turning point for Trump that we were all over. In fact, let's go to the Trump plays here for a second. MAGA plays. These are the Trump plays. So, man, it was must have been October. It was probably down here. It was the Monday morning after Elon Musk went on stage on a Saturday over the weekend. Do you remember what date that was, Rhett?
I do not.
So when Elon Musk went on stage, immediately, like the next day, the betting market started turning like severely towards Trump in a big way. So that Monday morning, we were like, it's time to get some MAGA stocks, right? So politics impacts stocks. The one we played, we mentioned DJT. I didn't play DJT, but it was Geo, right? So Geo down here had a big move because we're paying attention to politics. We understand the political impact on stocks as a border immigration stock. So Geo has been a big winner for us. Did that with the common shares and call options. So going back to the macro, why do I mention that? Because what I really want to talk about, okay, so we have the election coming up. I have to be honest with you. I mean, the market's been exploding. I don't know where the indices are going at this point, right? Is it going? Let's assume the betting markets are right now, and Trump's going to win. Is that currently being baked in? Are we going to get a sell the news if he wins? I don't know. I remember in 2016 when he won, it was a surprise. Markets exploded. Like futures were up like 3-4% that night. I don't know if you remember that, Rhett. And then it was gone for weeks. It was like a huge explosion. So conventional wisdom is Trump's better for the economy than for stocks. But is that being priced in now? Do we get to sell the news if he wins? I don't know. And what if he doesn't win? Lots of complications here. So, and I don't really care too much about the indices. I'm not an indice trader. The way I look at it, I've said this before, as long as indices are stable, that makes what we do right in our wheelhouse because we look at individual company catalysts, interpret the impact of the catalyst on sentiment, interpret the impact of the catalyst on fundamentals. I don't understand, interpret, assess, and then look at technicals, come up with a thesis. And if you have relatively stable markets, stocks will react in more predictable ways to catalysts than if you have like markets which are not stable. So all I care about is looking at the chart and I say we're stable for now. All right. Everything's above key moving averages, even our favorite one, IWM, above key moving averages. So that makes it a great stock pickers market in terms of playing these inflection point catalysts. And that's what we're doing here. The other thing I want to mention geopolitically is, again, gold, silver, and USO. Now, Bitcoin, I mean, such a tease. I've been calling for a breakout for a while. I do think it's already broken out. I do think this chart, you can imagine a downtrend line right here. I think it's already broken out. Also, the weekly's really breaking out. It's still low RSI targets, 70,000. Did we reach 70,000? Got close, 69,500. I've had two targets for the last month or so on this 70,000, then break to a new high of 73.8. Okay, that's separate from geopolitical concerns. Bitcoin does its own thing, I've noticed. Even though some would like it to be a geopolitical hedge, hasn't acted like one yet. All right, but I continue to pound the table on gold. I reiterated this last night that I basically have an unlimited price target on this. Okay. It doesn't make sense to reduce until the story changes. Story hasn't changed. There's inflation worries because monetary policy perhaps too loose, not only in the United States, but worldwide. People worried inflation will make a comeback later on because of that. And also the geopolitical situation, what's going on in the Mideast, is another reason I've kept a large position in gold and been playing gold calls basically every week. And silver along with that. As well, we just talked about all-time breakout here. Not an all-time breakout, major breakout, I should say. This level, you see this level right there. Wow, it gapped up above this level on Friday morning. It was 29.44. It was gapping up above 29.44, I believe it was. That was the important level, or maybe it was this level I was looking at, which is right there, 29.35. So I'm like, man, silver is going to break out. Okay, that was Friday. Silver exploding. All right. So there's some theses out there fundamentally what could be driving silver. They're interesting. Take a look at the monthly chart here. I think last night in the Discord, I gave you guys a target right there. See that like quadruple top on these four candles, which is 34.44, 34.39, 34.80, right around $34. All right. So $34 next upside target for silver. That's monthly candles, though, I'm looking at. The other thing I want to mention is I've been playing USO calls, and so far it's worked. I thankfully escaped this somehow. Maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But we're a big part of this move up here. And I think we're ready for the next move up, just purely based on geopolitics and the war going on in the Mideast. I want to continue to have a hedge in USO. My war hedge is basically gold, USO calls, and Oxy calls. All right, that's my war hedge. USO calls, I'm in very small right now. So I have a chance to increase. I'll probably go out at least 2, 3, 4 weeks with those USO calls. But just looking at what's going on, the strongest signal I have here, first of all, you have the election coming up in terms of strategic timing with what Israel's going to do with Iran. Whether they're waiting for the election to end or whether they want to squeeze it in before the election, either or, election's almost here. So Iran's going to get hit. It's a matter of, is it in the next couple weeks or is it right after the election? It's happening. And one of the things that, by the way, over the weekend, there was an attack on Benjamin Netanyahu's house from Hezbollah drone. It was damaged. They directly hit his home. So that's really gonna. If you didn't think they were gonna do something to Iran, they will now for sure. But also all of these THAAD missile systems coming in, these THAAD batteries coming in from the United States. There's been like 20 or so big military cargo jets landing from the United States in Israel. Now the THAAD system is operating. They keep bringing in equipment, United States, nonstop into Israel. Why would they do that? They would only do that if they're expecting Iran to retaliate hard. Why would Iran retaliate hard if Israel is going to hit Iran hard? All right. We talk politics on this show, all right? Because that's how you make money. So in any case, what I think is there's been a lot of talk out there that Israel's not going to attack the oil infrastructure, but I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. All right. Let them not attack the oil infrastructure. Once the missiles start flying between Israel and Iran, oil is going to go up because people are going to worry. They're going to worry it may spiral. Iran may now hit, oil refineries of the Gulf states, something they've threatened, even though I think they probably won't. All right. So this is not like a fundamental play that I think there's going to be a shortage in oil. It's a sentiment play that once the war ratchets up, there's going to be worry and FOMO in oil, and oil is going to go up. So I want to have an oil hedge. I'm going to increase my oil hedge because of the geopolitical activities happening over the weekend. All right. So that's the macro view. Wow. I'm going to pause there. Rhett, any quick feedback before you move into the individual stocks?
No, Ben, I think you've been nailing it. So,
all right. All right, great. Let's look at these individual stocks at this point in no particular order. Okay, actually, let's just jump first to what's moving up big right now. See, these are two little, we call them shitcos in our community. Thank you for that phraseology from The Godfather. We don't really dabble. We don't play shitcos in our community as a general rule. However, we are definitely in a trend where certain shitcos are going up. And those shitcos are low float biotechs. When you're in a mega trend and you can identify, all right, it's just a matter of allocation size. Keep it small. I got there's a lot of talk that BIVI could be the next drug, right? Y'all familiar with the drug that's going up like a crazy amount. So this is not the typical way we do story trading. And that's why the sizes are going to be really small, like a drug from like $1 to $80, crazy. All right, so position sizes are going to be small. I did about a 2% position between BIVI over here and GRI. Just got literally a few $100 in these. And that's fine, all right? Doesn't fit our criteria because the fundamentals aren't there. Most likely are not there in either of these names, but because of the mega trend we're in, because of the sentiment, and in these cases, like catalysts would be like social media influencers. Someone messaged me about BIVI. Where's the other one? Someone messaged me about sometimes these bigwigs, they message me like, take a look at this. There was another one this morning. Oh, it was GNPX. Someone told me about. But in any case, look, I don't mind doing very small size in these. So I got small size in BIVI, small size in GRI, and the way I'm looking at these, I'm looking at it is like the allocation size is like what I put in an option. Right. So I'm either going to lose like 50, 60%, or maybe I'll make a couple 100%. I'm not going to actively trade these stocks. I'm just going to hold them for most of the day. And when I see either that the thing is having a blow off top, I'll get out. Or when I see that the thing completely died, volume died off, and it looks like there's no chance of a comeback, I'll sell them. Small position sizes, both of these. Okay. Not really our shtick at story trading, but we'll do it in a mega trend. All right. Let's go through some other news on some of these bigger names over here to see if any of these would qualify to be top 5 for today. Hims with a little upgrade this morning as Bank of America going from $23 to $25. This is a core position for us. Like the name, obviously, earnings are coming up soonish, November 4th. Yeah. Okay. So you got this upgrade. You have lots of great catalysts over the last couple of months. So Hims maybe could be in play today. We'll circle back to it. Game we talked about. The time to be on top of this was to buy that news early on October 17th. I wouldn't buy it right here today, here at 90 cents, but keep an eye on it and keep an eye for a CEO interview next Monday. There may be, maybe the inflection point is in, maybe the bottom's in. We'll have to see as we learn more when we talk to the CEO. All right, that's game. What else we got here? Hood with an upgrade this morning. KeyBank goes from $25 to $30. Piper Sandler goes from $27 to $30. So a couple of upgrades, not really reacting well in pre-market though. It's had a big move into that event next week. Let's go on. McDonald's, I might play. I think I might put McDonald's in the top 5, and also Boeing. A couple big mega cap names might go in the top 5 here today. But McDonald's, it's a little bit crazy, but Trump, right? McDonald's was all over my newsfeed yesterday, all over it, like unbelievable. I've never seen my newsfeed so saturated with something, with Trump serving fries and at the drive-thru through McDonald's, all over the place. Free advertising. It could bring in the MAGA crowd in terms of sentiment, something like that. But then also this morning, check this out. McDonald's price target raised to $322 from $308 at Bank of America. Wait a second. I saw a bigger price target. There it is. Wells Fargo. Wow, they had multiple ones this morning. Wells Fargo, $285 to $350. What was the catalyst for these coming out this morning? When is earnings? Earnings is October 29th, next week. All right, so the analysts are getting out ahead of this earnings report. Couple big upgrades this morning, plus the Trump effect. McDonald's going in the top 5, Rhett. All right, interesting.
I'm loving it.
I was like, last night when I mentioned this, I'm like, it's silly, but like things can move on sentiment. Let's throw McDonald's on our watch list because of Trump. And then this morning, all these big upgrades came in. I'm like, all right, now we got multiple pillars in play. You guys are familiar with their pillars. It's catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. So when you have multiple pillars in play, it's a better bet. So McDonald's up there in the top 5 for today. Let's see what else we got here. ASTS, I got to put this. Let's see. I got to put this in the top 5, like maybe number 5 position. So we're not getting a pre-market move. We don't have a press release, but there's been a lot of chatter over the weekend that now more satellites have unfurled, like maybe 3 out of 5 of them, something like that now. Plus, we're over the key level, the 50 DMA. So I think this stock will continue to be strong and continue to bounce, hopefully, off of that 50 DMA. And maybe, you never know, could it explode just off of the social media chatter over the weekend about their technical accomplishments, or will it need a PR? You don't really know that. It's not like a number 1 pick since there's no like press release, no obvious catalyst this morning. But $31 at the top of this candle, that's the next target. We're going to throw that in the top 5, probably closer to the number 5 position. Okay. So we got McDonald's and ASTS. Oh, NEO. I am going to be adding NEO, not a day trade, but as a swing. We're at 510. We're right at this 50 DMA, which is 515, 50 and the 200 DMA, a few cents below it. Low RSI. Godfather gave us his blessing in terms of fundamental inflection point after the earnings release. All right. This was the big China move, and the China move pulled back. But don't confuse this with just any other Chinese stock. We got fundamentals in our favor here. Plus, now we have the technical support. I'm going to be entering a swing position in NEO, and I think I'm also going to take some call options in that swing position. So I'll throw this in the top 5, but as a swing, we'll put it closer to the bottom of the list to just emphasize it's not a day trade for today since there's no strong NEO catalyst for today. But I'm loving that opportunity off of these support lines with good fundamentals. So NEO, interesting. Look, there's a couple others, man. Let's see, Boeing and Capper. I don't have time to talk about everything. So let me see. CVS, maybe starts bouncing off here. There's some news. There was an upgrade this morning. We talked about gold and silver. I think I got to throw silver up there. SoFi had a nice upgrade on Friday and closed Friday very strong. It was Citi going to like from 10 to 12.50. Very strong price action at the end of the day, following that big catalyst we had early last week. So I think SoFi might be in play. All right, I think that's enough. So now let's see what we have, and let's see if we can order these here. So, Capper, I didn't talk about. There's also Boeing and Capper. Shoot. All right, let's see. So Boeing, 9:25 a.m. Okay, so Boeing here, the strike is they came to a tentative deal that's going to be voted on. You can see the Boeing reaction here this morning. It's at 160.30. Let's look at the key levels: 160.97, the 50 DMA. This has been beaten down really badly from 194 to 160. This could have additional room, okay, today. So it could break the 50 DMA, maybe make it over to 165, 166, where these candles are. All right, so let's see. Boeing, let's see if we can move that up. And then Capper, Capricorn Therapeutics, big upgrade this morning, I believe it was. Initiated overweight, Piper Sandler, $35 price target. All right, and this thing's been beaten up after the offering. Oil stock, all right? So Capper, I think, is going to be in play. Let's see if we can make this into 5 now. All right. Ooh,
hard choices.
Right. What do you like the best out of these? We'll leave Neo as a swing out of the top 5. It'll be we'll put it at 6 as a swing entry today.
Yeah.
Besides
I'm
the swing entry.
ASTS is the number 5. I liked where you're going with that one. Boeing, I would put that up there closer to one of the topper picks. Looking at the chart. Let's check out SoFi.
SoFi looks good, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, SoFi looks very poised.
And 1050 is a key level on SoFi, which we nailed last week. You give you a 1050 price target after that news, and it perfectly hit 1050 and pulled back. Man, RSI is a little bit heated on the weekly, even on the daily, though. But at some point, it's going to break that 1050.
Then 1050, it goes all the way to 11.
Yeah.
Today, I like Capper.
Okay, you got SoFi, Boeing. I got to do McDonald's. I think I might make. Here we go. Ready? McDonald's, SoFi, Boeing, Silver, ASTS. Are you happy with those 5, or should we switch Capper in for something up here?
I like it.
I like these 5 picks. All right, let's make it.
Capper will be on our watch.
Capper is like a bonus. All right.
Yeah.
And then we got Neo swing entry. There you go. There are picks today. 9:28 a.m. Just getting in before the bell. Folks, if you don't want to miss a show, head on over to storytrading.com/Discord. But more than that, we have our Discord community where we're chatting all day long and people are helping with execution. That's where a lot of the value really comes in. So it's only $2 a day at storytrading.com/Discord. By the way, we just hit 7,000 followers on X. Rhett, I think we have a special because
we have a special promo for that, for hitting 7,000 followers. Thank you all. We are going to offer the first month for $7. So I mean, you can't beat that. Yeah.
How did they get that?
So they can just use the code 7K.
7 spell out SEVENK?
Nope, just the number 7 and K.
Oh, the number 7 letter K. So head on to storytrading.com/Discord. Number 7 letter K. You get the first month for only $7. Good luck, everyone. McDonald's, SoFi, Boeing, Silver, AST Space Mobile, and Capper and Neo. Sorry, I cut you